Welcome, Hoosier fans, to another edition of Banner Morning, recorded on Tuesday, August 28th, 2018. I'm Jared Morris, and we are now 32 days away from Hoosier hysteria. In team news, the IU men's basketball Twitter account posted yet another workout compilation video on Monday. The video included weights, the Versa Climber, and Cliff Marshall running the guys through a series of strength and agility drills in the sandpit. In player news, NBADraft.net updated their scouting report for Romeo Langford on Monday. Their NBA comparison for Romeo is Chris Middleton, who played at Texas A&M and has become a very good player for the Milwaukee Bucks. Middleton was only a second-round pick, but he has developed into a 20-point-per-game scorer who also chips in 5 rebounds and 4 assists per game. Not a bad player for Romeo to be compared to. As expected, the strengths section of Romeo's scouting report is filled with positive notes about Romeo's scoring and shooting ability. Here are a few other notable strengths mentioned. Good feel for the game and shot selection. Plays within the flow of the game without forcing his will. Reads his defender well. Knows how to draw fouls while staying under control. Unselfish. Good passing ability and gets teammates involved. Competes on both ends. Good length, versatility, and foot speed as a defender. And here are some of the weaknesses mentioned, in addition to obvious ones like needing to get stronger. Needs to improve his ball handling when going fast or pressured in the backcourt. Loses the ball often trying to split double teams or making moves when breaking the press. Settles for deep contested shots at times. While it isn't a bad thing that he has Kawhi Leonard-type emotions throughout the game, he can improve his aggression and intensity level. In NBADraft.net's current mock draft for 2019, Romeo is slotted at 9th to the New York Knicks. He is the only Hoosier listed in the first or second round. Bruno Fernando of Maryland is the highest Big Ten player listed, as he is slotted 8th. Other Big Ten players in the mock draft, Charles Matthews of Michigan is 29th, Josh Reeves of Penn State is 34th, and Carson Edwards of Purdue is 43rd. By the way, hat tip to Drew Davis of Peegs for retweeting the link to Romeo's scouting report. And in statistical analysis, let's take this opportunity to continue our series on the individual stats for returning players that most need to improve for Indiana to reach its potential this season. The first installment of this series came in the August 14th Banner Morning when I explained why it's essential that Juwan Morgan's free throw shooting improve. Next on the list, Devonte Green's assist-turnover ratio. As a freshman, Devante averaged 1.1 assists per game while turning it over 1.3 times per game. As a sophomore, Devante improved those numbers to 2.5 assists per game and 1.9 turnovers per game. So he's already shown some growth in this area, which is good. Now we need to see more. For comparison's sake, here are some successful recent Indiana point guards and what their assist-turnover ratios were in their junior seasons. Yogi Ferrell, 4.9 assists to 1.9 turnovers. Jordan Hulse, 3.3 assists to 2.1 turnovers. And Tom Coverdale, 4.8 assists to 2.7 turnovers. Based on Devante's track record, no one is expecting him to be on the level of a Yogi, a Hulse, or a Coverdale. But something along the lines of what Jordy did as a junior, 3.3 assists and 2.1 turnovers, would represent improvement for Devante and probably end up being a pretty solid season for him as a distributor. And what makes such growth seem at least possible is the talent we all know Devante possesses, plus the improved roster around him. Devante will be surrounded by much more offensive talent this season, most notably Romeo Langford, and the proven dead-eye outside shooting of Evan Fitzner. Add in the projected improvements of holdovers like Juwan Morgan and Justin Smith and the improved depth across the board, and this Indiana team should be much, much better and more balanced offensively than the crew we watched last season. But the Hoosiers will need a point guard to take control and make it all go. And while we're all excited about Robert Phinissee's long-term potential as a lead guard, it's not realistic to expect him to be ready to carry the full load from day one as a freshman. Devante is one of the most experienced and talented players on the team. The only way this Indiana roster can max out its potential is for him to be more adept at getting the ball into the hands of scorers while limiting the boneheaded turnovers that kill possessions before they even begin. And with a better roster, there just isn't as much of a need to take low percentage chances when this team will have so many ways it can score both in transition and in the half court. Yes, of course, move the ball, attack, and be aggressive, all of which is in Devante's basketball DNA. We know that. But he should also keep in mind that patience and prudence will be rewarded more this year. If he can mix a little more of both into his play, he can be the point guard this team needs. As always with Devante, we'll have to wait and see. Progress isn't guaranteed, and it surely won't be linear. But if he's a more consistent distributor this season, it will go a long way toward Indiana being able to fulfill its potential as a Big Ten contender and, finally, a March Madness participant once again. Thank you for listening to this edition of Banner Morning, presented by the Assembly Call. Join us for our live broadcast talking IU hoops every Thursday night and immediately following every IU basketball game. To watch live or subscribe, visit assemblycall.com. And remember to use the URL iutickets.shop this season when you need IU basketball and IU football tickets. That's iutickets.shop. I'll be back soon with a brand new edition of Banner Morning. Until then, keep your elbows in and your eyes on the rim, and go Hoosiers.